Welcome, MMA Maniacs, to another edition of Split Decision MMA. Brought to you by Fight Fans Radio. We can be found at Spreaker, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and iTunes. We can also be found at SplitDecisionMMA.com. Albert and Dodge bringing you the news because Joey can't be here today. As always, produced by the Brothers Rulofs, and take it away, Dodge!
Alright, so we have Dana White is saying that Anderson Silva will be walking without crutches in 30 days.
No.
I heard he's going to do a 5K. He's doing a 5K.
He might be... he might be able to walk or hobble or whatever.
I like the pictures of him. Look at these are healthy pictures of him sitting on a couch.
I don't know.
How does that prove he's walking without crutches?
He's like half Wolverine now.
Yeah, he does have the metal rod.
He's like Wolverine. He has a metal rod in his leg.
And that's the big question. Everybody wants to know, is he going to be allowed to fight with that rod?
No, they take it out. They take it out. Oh, no.
What about
kick somebody with a metal rod?
What about Tim Sylvia? He still has the metal plate in his arm. He was able to fight. Can't break his arm again.
He's not forearming people in the head.
So now I'm lost. So now he's going to have a hollow bone?
Is it inside his bone?
Yeah, they drilled it.
They drilled the hole.
That's gross.
Maybe they just fill it.
I just thought they drilled that thing next to it. Oh, then he might
fill it full of plaster Paris. He'll be fine.
Cork.
I thought they took that stuff out.
They should fill it with cork like the baseball bat.
Nice.
He's like kick somebody and they'll fly out of the ring.
So we finally have a date for John Jones versus Glover Teixeira, which will be happening at UFC 172. Originally, this was at 171. It was at 169. Like, it's been all over the place. So
John Jones is going to pull out tomorrow.
Now it's going down in Baltimore.
Oh, that's because... Oh, I heard about that. It's because his brother plays there.
Baltimore.
I don't know if that's really why, but his brother really does play there.
Fight fans will be happy about that.
He says, I feel like I already have a family there already because of the Ravens. Yeah, because his brother plays in the Ravens.
So, I don't know how that works. One of his brothers, they both play in the AFC.
Yeah.
Oh, and I hate both teams. I don't care.
So we have a little bit of drama going on with Nate Diaz, of course, the Nurmagomedov fight. He's not going to be happening against Gilbert Melendez.
Nurmagomedov.
I
was like, who else Nurmagomedov?
Basically, someone had tweeted, hey, Team Khabib and Dana White and Nate Diaz, we all want to see this fight, make it happen. Dana White says Nate turned down the fight.
Which we found out was...
Nate Diaz says, F you, pay me, quoting Tech 9.
Well, they admitted to
UFC are full of shit. I didn't turn down anything.
No. The UFC admitted they're the ones that turned it down.
Yeah, hold on. We'll get to that.
Okay,
so Nate Diaz says UFC is full of shit. I didn't turn down anything. Nurmagomedov says, if you're not scared, let's fight. And then Nate Diaz's manager, Mike Kogan, says, okay, he has never turned down a fight against anyone. These are the conditions that we asked for, and they were turned down by the UFC, so the fight didn't happen. Basically what happened is, after his last fight against Gray Maynard, he decided to get his manager to try to re-up his contract, and he wants an immediate title shot. Dana White's told him he's basically crazy. You can't have one win and then get a title shot. Yeah. But, and the only reason why they're asking for the title shot is because Pettis called out Nate Diaz. Now, he's saying that because he called him out, that's a money fight. That's the fight that they want. Dana White, again, says...
No, Pettis only wants that fight because he knows it's going to draw a lot of
It's
attention.
A money fight. It's a name fight. Yeah, for sure.
But there's no way he's going to... You beat Gray Maynard.
Okay?
So 9 other people.
Okay, just as a regular UFC fan, I'm lost. He wanted a title shot. Diaz is not a title holder.
So no. Nate Diaz got offered the fight against Khabib Nurmagomedov. He turned down that fight. His manager turned down that fight because it was not a title shot.
Oh, okay.
They say we want to renegotiate our contract that we currently have because Nate just defeated Gray Maynard and because the current champion Anthony Pettis is calling him out. We want that title shot. Dana White says you've had one win. You were on a 2-skid. You won 1 against Gray Maynard. You don't get an immediate title shot no matter if the champ is calling you out or not. You need to work your way back up. Take the Nurmagomedov fight. He said no. I want a title shot.
You can't even say it without
Nurmagomedov. I have to. Nurmagomedov.
Well, he would lose that fight. That's why he's not taking it.
Like, it's pretty crazy. So, still, Nurmagomedov doesn't have a fight. Ian McCall called him out, and I believe also Ian McCall? Yeah, Ian McCall called him out, and Michael Johnson called him out as well, and he says, he didn't say anything to Ian McCall, but he did say, Michael Johnson, you need to basically work your way back up.
I think Ian McCall just sits in his house at night and just, like, spins a wheel
Who am I going to call out next?
Well, he's all alone right now.
That's
So
not cool.
Ronery.
His roommate passed
So
away.
not cool.
His roommate passed away. Shane Del Rosario?
Yeah.
Nobody else?
He's the one that found him.
Yeah.
Okay.
And his wife just left him.
Hey, life goes on.
Sorry.
I like Ian McCall.
I do like Uncle Creepy.
Yeah, why are you guys talking crap?
And his sweet mustache. So earlier this week, actually last week, we had talked about the whole Bellator World Series of Fighting issue going on, where World Series of Fighting proposed that they have their fighters go up against the Bellator fighters for a pay-per-view. Another little twist in the whole tale. Patrick Fury, who won their tournament, does not get a title shot. Even though that's the whole basis of their entire organization, they've decided instead to give featherweight champion Daniel Strauss a fight against former champion Pat Curran. Patrick Fury is very pissed off, and so World Series of Fighting stepped in and said, well, if they don't give you a title shot, we will. You can come over to our organization, we'll give you a title shot.
Well, didn't they already have somebody that was a title holder, and they didn't re-up his contract either?
Yeah, Askren.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, just the whole thing about Bellator is it's a tournament constantly to find the next contender.
Well,
a guy wins the tournament and you don't give him his contendership spot
Because they don't have the money to maintain the
they
people in
want
title.
Curran to be the title holder because that was like one of their little golden boy people.
Yeah, was.
He was until he lost. I don't think anyone was expecting him to lose, and they can't book
Put him
Strauss
back
to fight anywhere except for Florida because he's on probation.
Put him back. Put Curran back into the tournament. He lost. You lost his title. Get back in the tournament. Wait in line like everybody else. If your whole format is a tournament format, that's what they should be doing. I understand giving the guy who just lost the immediate title rematch, especially when it was such a close bout, like as far as they expected Curran to win, that whole thing. But if your whole basis for your whole organization is a tournament, why are you now...
Eddie Alvarez didn't have to go through the tournament.
It's Eddie Alvarez.
I don't give a damn. Why does it matter? Why are you just contradicting yourself now?
Eddie Alvarez is better than Pat Curran.
Yes, he beat him. Yeah. I was like...
MMA math, son.
Well, he's better than him anyways.
So Eddie Alvarez, though, will be fighting Chandler again. This is supposed to be their first pay-per-view again. Bellator is going to be booking a pay-per-view sometime this year, and they're saying that the main event will be Eddie Alvarez against Chandler 3.
Well, I think they're gonna. I think they'll go through with the pay-per-view on this one because I think
Tito or Rampage isn't going to back out.
Hopefully they're not on the card. Tito's busy hitting shit on the freeway.
Are we going to cover that?
You already did, remember?
His garage? No, he's got a whole garage of wrecked cars.
No,
What?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's unnecessary.
Again,
I'm
he
saying-
shifts his head a little to the left, a little to the right. The whole car moves.
I think they're going to go through with this pay-per-view because they need to get Alvarez these pay-per-view points. I don't think it's
So that he can end his contract and go to the UFC?
Well, no, I think they're trying to use it as a selling point. Like, look, see, we had a pay-per-view for you. Why don't you please re-sign with us? But he won't.
And he did.
But I know he's not going to after this.
No, he's definitely not. So, and then further into the whole Bellator drama, Access TV said, if Bellator won't fight World Series of Fighting, we will step up and fight. They're saying that they are willing to put all of their organizations that are airing on Access TV, and that includes, let's see, who do we have?
There's a lot.
Yeah, they have quite a bit. They have the
gonna be
CFA, Legacy, Lion Fights, MFC, RFA, all... basically, they would take anybody from any of those organizations to fight against World Series of Fighting.
Well,
in a pay-per-view.
Lion Fights is all Muay Thai.
Okay.
So...
What's MFC? Is that motherfucking combat?
That's
Yep.
Canada. That's motherfucking Canada.
Yeah. Well, I think what Access TV actually, all those organizations, they all have a decent
decent pool of talent.
Yes,
for sure.
They're all really good, actually.
Yeah, I've been
a
doing
lot, and I forget which one of these companies. They're actually the little feeder company for the UFC that.
From what I read, it's RFA.
RFA.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
And
Yeah.
Legacy.
Legacy, yeah.
Go back horse. Holly
Yeah,
Holmes
they're-
over in Legacy.
Yeah, they're those are their little feeder place where they get some of their bigger names and they bring them over. And what is Ed Suarez?
Because I had asked last week, what's the feeder, and Dodge basically said everybody.
Pretty much everybody
Yeah.
is. I mean,
Yeah,
everybody
yeah,
is.
yeah.
I mean, there are some
Right.
major ones. Not just talk about. Yeah,
Right.
pretty much they go everywhere.
Well, the organization that Ed Suarez runs now on Access TV, I think it's the RFA. I'm not sure.
Right.
They're actually their little minor league thing. Not a lot of people know that, but they're actually able to use the name Octagon for the cage because that's copyrighted and everything by the UFC.
By Zuffa, yeah.
But they're able to use it, and they get to use the Octagon cage.
So how do you think that they would do up against World Series of Fighting?
I think World Series of Fighting would get wrecked.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I do.
How do you think they would do up against Bellator?
Bellator, they always put on good fights, but I don't think those are a lot of guys that have been cut from all these other.
See, but
little
that's
promotions
our
and stuff
argument.
like that.
We truly believe that World Series of Fighting has a better grade of fighters in a whole than Bellator.
Probably, yeah.
Overall, as a whole.
So you're saying that RFA, once they get going, that they'll actually have a better pool of fighters than
Now, do you
World
think,
Series of Fighting?
Do you think this whole thing is like a big, also publicity stunt, or do you think that this is something that actually happened? I mean, we saw Strikeforce and Elite XC exchanging, contestants. We saw Affliction exchange stuff
It
with
might
Dream
be
and K1.
publicity, but you never really know. People angry for no reason. But
Because see, what I will say is like RFA, Legacy, these guys are promoting fighters that nobody knows. When Strikeforce and these guys were trying to promote, these were old names that people knew, and they were just
And a few new names.
that's
Well,
why,
yeah, but
that's why
you know
they're
what I mean?
signing him for such like ridiculous amounts of money. That's
Yeah.
right,
what
and
happened to
they were
Affliction.
interlacing the two. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? They would put somebody you didn't know with somebody that you did know. That way,
and hope
either
to
way,
God the
right,
guy that they wanted to win won.
right.
Like when Brett Rogers fought Arlovsky. That ended bad.
Right. But I mean, now sitting here now, we could all say that Kimbo Slice should have never made it into a UFC ring.
No. He
No.
should have been. I mean, he was fighting Elite XC.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Getting paid lots of money to do it too.
You know what I mean?
But-
Or the guy with pink hair that dropped him. You know,
Seth Petruccelli, who started out in the UFC.
Yeah.
right?
As far as like a big name, he actually was on the Ultimate Fighter. So, so Brock Lesnar, obviously, we've been talking a lot about him going. Is he going to come back? Is he not going to come back?
Fuck Brock.
I
Is-
heard he just signed a 3-year deal with
He is
WWE.
until April 2015. He is locked up with WWE.
But
shouldn't be worried
WWE
about
said that they're not against opening it up for him to do other stuff.
Right, of course, that's all publicity. Dana White says, I think he could come back. That's all I'm saying. It's definitely a possibility. It was a mental thing that broke him, not just the diverticulitis. It was a mental thing. Once he found out he had that, he just wasn't the same fighter. He says he has some regrets. He would like to come back and fight again. We don't know, but it's a possibility.
Yeah, but if he closes the door on that, that's just like closing that bank account.
Oh, yeah.
I think either of the companies, WWE and
UFC.
Zuffa and UFC, they're gonna do what's gonna make them the most money.
Yeah.
So if Brock's still under contract and Vince McMahon's like, yeah, go ahead, but you're cutting me some of this money.
Oh yeah,
They'll do it.
Yeah, they'll do it.
Right.
There's no way that they're gonna be like, no, I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to sell
money.
2 million.
I can't wait to
pay-per-views.
see GSP in the WWE.
That's why ain't doing
They'll
nothing.
call him the Frenchie.
He's gonna go get abducted by aliens again.
Junior Dos Santos is looking to come back late spring, according to his coaches. How do you feel? I mean, do you think he's going to jump right back in and be all right?
I think he
a
should
pre-
take more time off.
More time.
What's he doing?
Dude, he got his head beat on.
What's
for
he doing
a
right now?
while.
Hanging
Hanging
out.
out.
He's not training.
Training.
Probably training. Yeah.
He took some time off, and he's now getting back to training, they said. They're thinking May or June when he's going to come back.
I don't like this article that we have right in front of our face. It says Overeem failed the pre-fight drug test. He never failed the pre-fight drug test. He just tested high for high testosterone. I don't care if it's 11-1. He never tested positive for anything. Right? It was just high. You're not under. He was not licensed. They weren't even allowed to test him. They tested him, and it's bullshit.
I just had this conversation with a bunch of people at work probably 2 hours ago, and we went through this long list of legal supplements that you can use to raise your testosterone level.
Yep.
And meats, especially Subway because it's all turkey based. Arginine's one of the biggest things that can help raise
Arginine, yeah.
Arginine, however you pronounce it. So, I mean, where do you draw the line? I mean,
I'm saying
isn't Overeem? He's the one with the horse meat, right?
Yes.
It was
Horse meat.
until he came to the United States. Now he
Whatever.
can't get it anymore, and that's why he hasn't looked so good. Just saying. They have better horse meat in
Allegedly.
Amsterdam.
Well, it's illegal to eat here.
That's what I'm saying.
You can eat it in Canada.
Hey, it wasn't illegal here till '96 because Howdy's used to serve it on 9th Street, and it was the bomb.
Oh, ew.
Their hot
What's wrong
dogs.
with you?
Their hot dogs with 50%.
Were you all huge and like ripped and
Oh,
scary?
dude, we were swole.
So they also UFC has decided that now they're going to do what the fans want. They said by the end, of course, the free trial, the entire library that they have of all the fights will be up and ready to be viewed on the Fight Pass.
Okay, Engine, update to anybody who's got the Fight Pass. Make sure you call
Yeah.
and tell them, and they'll tell you that you're going to continue to be on the Fight Pass, but it'll stop at the end of your free trial. If
Yeah.
you don't make the call,
They start charging.
They
you.
they
will
start
charge
charging you.
Yeah.
So either give them a fake credit card number or something if you can't remember to make that call. But you can make the call, right? You could order the Fight Pass and make the call at the same time,
yeah.
and then they'll put you on the list.
So I guess what they're having to do, though, is, I guess, scrub the entire library due to banned sponsors.
Oh my goodness.
So they're having to,
That-
like, pixelate and block banned sponsors on shorts, on banners, on, like, everything.
Just let it be, man.
Is it? That's what I'm saying. Is it worth the trouble?
Apparently. 'cause
I mean, it's bad
Apparently.
enough they made a guy
Well-
fight in white shorts because of alleged problems.
Couldn't they just put up like a disclaimer, like legacy footage or something like that?
Right?
That'd be cool if they didn't blur it out.
Well,
they just stuck a picture of something else.
it's all
This is a
moving around,
UFC
not
logo,
moving around.
UFC logo that moves the entire time.
It makes sense from a business standpoint, I guess, because you don't want to give any of these people free promotion without paying you.
But by
That's all it is,
by
dude.
March, they're saying the entire library will be available. I still want it to be where I can choose an entire card. Right now, I have to choose by a fight, and that sucks.
Yeah, so now what you're gonna have to do is go to Wikipedia, bring
Yeah.
up the list
See
of
what
fights.
that is.
List of fights and like
List
put
of
them in
fights.
my queue in order, so I
Yeah.
can. All right, I'm gonna watch this today.
That's another thing. Is it Q or Quay?
Q.
You sure?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Damn it.
Dana White has come out and said that if Renan Barão beats Faber, he will become the pound for pound champion. What do you think about that?
I don't think he will be.
No?
No.
List the champions right now that are there. We have John Jones, Chris Weidman, Cain
Jose
Velasquez,
Aldo.
Jose Aldo, Anthony Pettis, Demetrius Johnson, and Ronda Rousey. Who is pound for pound the best in your opinion?
Jose Aldo.
Jose Aldo? Dennis?
Oh,
Dennis
man.
doesn't count. He just called it a quay.
Yeah, yeah. I'm with that, but I don't know. I mean, like, the jury's still out on Weidman, so you know what I mean? We haven't seen a lot
Bearded
of this
Ginger
guy.
Ale, what's your decision?
Beanie.
I have no idea.
Yes.
Just say Jose Aldo.
Jose Aldo.
Or Jose Aldo. However you
Jose.
Jose.
Jose Aldo.
I really, because out of that whole list, I think he could beat
Renan
anybody.
Barão, though, has done a pretty good job at completely decimating the entire featherweight division.
Bantamweight.
Bantamweight.
But still,
Excuse me.
like you said,
Yeah,
bantamweight.
so is Aldo.
And I have to give it to, I have to give Aldo specifically because he also beat Frankie Edgar,
Yeah.
former champion.
And you can't say Cain Velasquez because that's a lot of pounds.
That's true.
Well, I'm
Pound
just saying,
for pound.
If Jose Aldo was a heavyweight, I think he would destroy Cain Velasquez.
I think he could take that fight as
Dude,
is.
so let me
I
say,
think
so let me
yeah.
get this straight. If you
He
had
would
a
go all
200-pound
Spider-Monkey.
Chihuahua against a 200-pound Saint Bernard, the Chihuahua would win.
Chihuahuas are mean, dude. Are you serious? They're like the meanest dog on earth. Everyone's all worried about pit bulls, and this freaking little Chihuahua bites you in the freaking toe. You get an infection and die.
Saint Bernard would just lay down. Saint Bernard would just lay down. What are you doing? I'm tired. I'm going to drink this thing around my neck. Stefan Struve has been cleared to fight. Expected to make his return in the spring.
I think that's great. He's always has exciting fights.
His leaking aorta is now fixed.
That's nice.
It was at 80%. Now it's down to like 10.
So we this is what we were talking about this too. That now that bookies are becoming a big part of UFC, that they want medical to be listed like.
No, yeah.
So, I mean, why wouldn't you just punch this guy straight in his heart? I know, you know what I mean?
I literally,
I know
joke,
it's bad.
in high school, I had a guy who had same thing. He had a big heart condition, and we got in a fight, and his cousins pulled me off. We're like, "Don't hit him in the chest, you're gonna kill him."
Yeah.
And I was like, "No, that's what I'm trying to do.
No.
That's the
why-
first place
that's-
I'm swinging because I know he does."
The guy just had open heart.
Yeah, should
You
be
know.
talking shit.
You know, like Big Nog, you're going for that arm. You know, if you
I'd be going for that dent.
If Silva comes back, what are you going for? The leg.
Yeah.
You know,
That's true.
if you fight Jones, what are you doing? Stomp that foot.
Yep.
I
Toss,
would've
cost,
stomped
check,
the foot in
eye. Go for the eye.
first
Michael
eye,
Bisping, eye.
What?
Michael Bisping's got a bad eye. Poke him in the eye.
That's why Dan Hardy hasn't fought as well, because he has
Yeah.
a heart condition too.
Well, Stephen Struve is coming back. Dan Hardy's not.
Well, that's good. He always puts on exciting fights. He's super tall.
Back on the sad news. Kat Zingano's husband, Mauricio Zingano, passed away on Monday. Committed suicide.
Oh, hanging. I hadn't heard. A lot of us were wondering how it had happened. So
Now,
hanging.
allegedly, the rumors that I've saw on the underground are apparently she may have asked for a divorce, causing his deep depression.
I heard she was having troubles. I looked it up after you told me.
Yeah. They're having some marital issues. Apparently, he was an extremely happy guy until, obviously, marital issues happened. He's not so happy anymore, and he has passed away.
I don't understand why she's calling him her soulmate still, though.
Just because...
Sorry, guy.
You guys are fucking.
Well, I mean, if she asked for a divorce, then yeah, it was.
Apparently
She's
not a
like, my
soulmate.
soulmate died. I'm like, bro, you're the one that drove him to it. I'm just kidding.
So let's get further into the sad news before we bring it back up. Jamie Levine died as well.
You guys wanted me to talk. I just wanted to let you know.
Right? Jamie Levine was the one who started the World Extreme Fighting back in 1997. A lot of guys came out of that organization. We had Rich Franklin, Jeremy Horn, Matt Hughes, Pat Militech, the Nogueira brothers, Jens Pulver, Dan Severn, Maurice Smith, and Thomas. A lot of these guys all fought in World Extreme Fighting. He passed away due to blood clots.
Yeah, I heard about that too. I forget what article I was reading, but one guy said, I missed his call yesterday. I never called him back, and now I feel bad.
Oh,
Yeah.
Way to
that's,
go.
yeah.
I'm like, good job. It was you, bro.
Oh,
I'm just going to blame everybody's death on somebody else.
On some happy news, Mayhem Miller is coming back.
I don't know how happy that is.
Mayhem Miller has decided he is fielding offers to return to MMA. He said he's clean. He says he's back. He's in a positive state of mind. This seriously looks like straight split personality. Like, we get to see the good Mayhem again that we've seen in other interviews.
so does that mean he spent all the "Here Comes the Boom" money?
And I'm just waiting for
I was going to say that, yeah. His $10,000.
I'm just waiting for him to split again and freak out. He says the whole Uriah Hall thing, that's his brother, it's his friend, and that he was just trying to get him some publicity. He says he'd like to fight the Diaz brothers.
Oh shit! At the same time,
You will die. You'll get stabbed. Just let you know.
And he didn't want to walk away from the sport he loves.
They do have tag team MMA matches.
you know who I do want to see fight him, and they should duct tape his hands to his legs. Is Ariel Helwani, because this motherfucker gone on his show and made a complete ass of him
And himself.
and him. Well, fuck, I don't care if he makes an ass of himself.
But then there's that great heartfelt
Yeah.
interview where they walk through the park.
No, I know. But then you know, this year we found out what an ass bag Ariel Helwani is.
Oh, God. You just found that out? Dude, I've known that for like 4 years. I could have
Really?
told you.
I really didn't realize it until I started, doing research on him. And I was like,
I was just more upset he doesn't know.
That's why Nick Diaz said he wanted to slap him.
yeah. Well, see, that's why I'm worried about bringing the Diaz's in here.
He'll slap Joey.
I think they'll slap
Oh,
Joey.
God. Don't bring him here. Don't bring him here. No, I had Ariel Helwani never responds to me on Twitter. Fucking asshole. But I always talk shit to him on Twitter.
Maybe that's why he doesn't respond.
I just tell him he's a
Wait.
piece of shit, and then I think he's...
Do you talk shit to him as Albert or as
Split
SDM?
Decision.
Oh no, as myself.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay.
I almost posted something bad the other day about a fighter, and then I was like, I'd delete that from.
Who cares?
Split
Do
decision.
it. We
On
don't
the
give a
split
shit.
decision?
Do it.
I was told I was not allowed to do that. I was
Okay.
told to use mine for that.
Yeah, I told him he wanted to talk shit, get us in trouble, do it on his own.
But yeah, I always talk shit to him. I don't like him. I think he's a piece of shit.
Nevada-
I've never met him in my life, but if I ever did, I'd probably spit it in his face. Like, no joke, dude.
Hey, and for anybody who doesn't know Albert, he's pretty even kill, man.
Usually. See, this is why I can't take you with me when I get to go to the UFC events, because Ariel Helwani's always there.
I can just see him at the press conference. Fuck you. Fuck you. You're cool.
Fuck you, we're out. Dude, I'm not leaving. You're out. Literally, security is taking you away right now.
I would like to see security take me
I'll
away,
be across the street at In-N-Out. Fuck these guys.
depending on where the show is.
Nevada State Athletic Commissioner Keith Kaiser has resigned. So maybe now Vitor Belfort can come and fight in the United States and get TRT?
Possibly.
Because that was, I know, one of the big things that was stopping him was he couldn't get TRT exemption in Las Vegas, and Keith Kaiser was the first person to say, I will not give him TRT in Las Vegas.
I liked Kaiser. I thought he did a good job.
You can now apply for this position, by the way. It's an open position.
Really?
Yep.
I don't have to be like a lawyer? He was a lawyer.
I don't know. I saw the application online. You can find it.
Oh,
Yeah, there's just like for refereeing, the prerequisite is pretty.
Well, you have to be a purple
Lenient.
belt in California now to ref a championship match in jiu-jitsu.
Very
like,
nice.
well, in MMA, but you have to be a purple belt in jiu-jitsu to ref a championship match, a blue belt to do any of the other things. Like, you can't be just some crackhead off the street and like, oh, it's time to fight. Kind of crap. But yeah,
This guy's offering me a cheeseburger. Stop the fight.
I can't believe you're gonna talk about Mazzagatti like that.
Hey, once he lost the mustache, he lost the power.
I don't know why everyone rags on that guy so much.
Because he's horrible.
He's not that bad.
He's horrible.
See,
I
I don't know, but some
Josh
of them,
Rosenthal, high on weed, did better than he did.
but some of them redeem.
You can't say that's not true.
I wonder if
Look
he's
at you
reffing
tried
fights in prison.
You tried to say
He's like, all right, put the shank down. Put the shank down. Put it down.
Vanderlei Silva has decided to run for Brazilian Congress.
Oh, that's gonna be awesome.
That's all I got to say. That's the only thing I'm going to read in this entire article is the headline.
I hope their Congress is like the Asian Congress. You know, like when they just go
Where they can
ape
fight
shit
in
and
the
beat the
middle.
shit out of each other.
That'd be awesome.
What?
Never seen
You
that?
never seen?
No.
Oh yeah.
Look that up on YouTube, my friend.
dude.
And listeners out there, look that up on YouTube.
Yeah, because you want to know who throws a shoe? Asian Congress.
Seriously, that guy threw it like 3 times. He kept picking it up and throwing it again.
There's a YouTube video of a fight in some like Chinese restaurant or something.
Yeah.
And like these two chicks are like fighting, and all of a sudden you see some dude grab a plate and fucking throw it, dude, and it smashes against some bitch's head. Like, yeah, that's the only thing I
think
saw.
it was the
I
Denny's
like,
in Oakland. So Dan Henderson is up for contract renegotiation. He's very upset right now because he basically said he got offered 50% less than his last contract.
I like that they called him half price Hendo.
Well, he's what, 3 fights in a row he's lost?
I'm
sorry.
You know what?
You don't deserve more money than you were getting.
He should be in the ring with Stallone and freaking De Niro. That's where he needs to be.
He says if he doesn't come to terms with the UFC and get another contract, he will not retire.
He's like, I will sign with Bellator.
No, he'll sign with World Series of Fighting.
No, Bellator will give him an immediate title shot.
Yeah, but I think he'll sign with World Series of Fighting because he likes Ray Seppo.
Oh yeah, that's right.
They're friends.
They're all buddies.
But he said if he does come to terms with the UFC, he will fight in April or May.
Next month?
Yeah, so, like, he's ready. Travis Brown and Fabricio Verdum officially have a fight. Also going down with Misha Tate going up against Liz Carmouche. This will be going down UFC on Fox 11.
I don't know why Misha Tate's still fighting.
April 19th. She said she just had, she was in a bad mental place.
Oh,
for
I'm
her
sorry.
last
The
fight.
last 3 fights in a row?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Especially the last one.
What is that
Carmouche
mental
is gonna
state?
friggin-
Asleep? I just don't.
Carmouche is going to run through her.
Yeah?
It's going to be bad.
She didn't look too good.
Even
good
though
in
she
her
plays
last
for
fight.
the other team, man,
she
Carmouche's
lost her last
body.
fight.
Yeah?
Yeah, but Liz Carmouche is from San Diego.
Oh, okay, so that's why?
Yeah.
Little favorite.
I've met her.
All right.
She's really nice. She's a nice chick.
It's great.
And we're doing Travis Brown. I got Brown.
Taking Brown over Verdum. Is he going to hit him with the elbows from hell?
Probably.
Did you ever pay for your burritos last time you were on the show?
No.
Burritos.
No, he has not.
No.
You owe me burritos.
Yeah.
Joey does too. It's all
Why
right.
don't you remind me? I don't remember these things. I forget it right
Did
when I
you-
walk out the door.
Did you eat the burritos? Did you eat the burritos that you owe me?
Probably.
Donald Cerrone is saying he is taking his next fight because he needs money.
Well,
He said he literally texted Joe Silva after his last fight and said, I need to fight ASAP. They said, how about January 25th? He said, that's great. Basically because he spent all his money, he's broke.
Well, he's admitted that one, like, what was it, 2011, 2012, he earned like $250,000 and he said he spent it.
Yeah.
He spent all of it on, well,
Wakeboards
but he said,
and-
but the good thing is that he said he bought everything he's ever wanted in his life.
Yeah.
Whatever happened with his lawsuit
What lawsuit?
for beating a woman, right? He was supposed to. No?
I didn't see that.
Okay.
I think you're
Not
thinking about the
Cerrone.
wrong cowboy. That's
All right.
probably some motherfucker from
All right.
Moto.
Speaking of Donald Cerrone, Cole Miller, after his fights, called him out, called him Clown Boy. Cerrone, which I thought was kind of funny.
Yep.
Nobody else thought it was funny?
No, I did. I thought it was super funny, and I thought it was funny that he told him to lay off the.
Oh yeah.
cheeseburgers
So
and
basically,
Twinkies.
what he said is,
Homeboy.
as he says, I'm trying to come up with some contenders. He said there's one guy in particular. I think everyone knows who it is. It's you, Donald Clownboy Cerrone. You've been talking about coming down 145. Come on down. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to send Mike Dolce over to you, and you could put the bill on me. He's probably going to tell you the same thing. I'm going to tell you, lay off them cheeseburgers and Twinkies, homie.
So go run tell that.
Who do you think would win that fight?
That's a pretty tough fight.
Yeah, because they're both
Cole Miller is
super tough.
really good on the ground, though.
Yeah.
Really good. I don't know if he can hang with Donald Cerrone's kickboxing, and especially his newfound skills in wrestling that he seems to have been gotten from Jackson's.
Oh.
I mean, they're not amazing, but he's come a long way, and he's allowed to set it up pretty well on the ground.
I don't know. If we go by aggressiveness, I'd go with Cole Miller.
Yeah, Cole Miller's looking pretty beastly lately.
Cole Miller looks like a serial killer.
I'm
just saying.
He also called out Conor McGregor in his last fight. Not this fight, he just had the one before that, saying he says, I'm over here looking at this guy. I know it's show pointy when I see one, and that's what Connor, whatever his name is, I know what he is.
Everybody messes up his name. They're like, yeah, whatever you call him. Colin, Conan,
Whatever that Irish dude's name
Cobblestone,
is.
whatever you call him.
I don't think the guy's worried about it because for some reason he's like a huge star
Yeah.
in the
Oh, yeah.
UFC right now.
He is the number one,
Googled Irish athlete.
Googled Irish athlete.
Yeah.
I mean, can you name another Irish athlete?
How many people are in Ireland? Like 5, 6?
Patrick.
Kirkpatrick? Nice. I like you threw that in there. So let's talk about...
That's nice.
Before
That's
we
like
get-
right up in my face.
Before we get to Dana White's reaction to GSP, let's go over real quick. After UFC Fight Night 35, Rocco Filippo, there was a couple questions that happened. Basically, did Yo Romero shit himself? Was one of the number one questions. There was this strange, liquidy, dark mass on his ass.
I don't think
There
anybody
was.
is going to release and say, yes, it was shit.
Well, Tim Sylvia shit his pants and he admitted it.
He admitted it.
Yeah, but he
flat
was
out
also...
admitted it. He said, Tim Sylvia, I quote, I got really sick Saturday, had problems holding my innards. When I was warming up, I had a few problems. I actually had a few problems in the ring when I was fighting. I caught something. I just couldn't hold my number twos. If you look at the fight, you'll see when my shorts came down, you'll see that there's wet mark in my underwear.
And since we're talking about Tim Sylvia, look up his blind date video.
Oh, it's hilarious.
That's hilarious.
One of the best things on TV.
Stick to fighting, Tim.
No. No.
But going to Yo Romero, they actually asked him. Somebody in the press conference said, this is a funny question, but what was that substance? Was it just sweat? What was it exactly? He said it was water, sweat. That was it. Flat out.
Yeah, it probably was. I mean, I really don't know.
It was tanning solution.
I like
I just want to say about this fight that Romero ate the nastiest head kick I've ever seen in my life.
Pretty bad.
And for winning, I don't give a fuck if it was 13 years ago, 14 years ago, winning a gold medal in freestyle or a silver medal in freestyle wrestling. His wrestling fucking sucks.
in the Olympics.
Like, bro, you were in the Olympics. You won a silver medal. You got taken down 9 times. Like, what are you doing?
And then, of course, we had the famous dick punch go on in that same bout. Romero went to go for...
But he didn't do it. He said he didn't.
He said, yeah, he claims he didn't punch the guy in the dick, but we will put this up on Facebook, and you could judge for yourself.
It looks like a dick punch.
Now,
It
what
looks
about
like a dick punch to me. Apparently, it bounced off the elbow and hit the dick.
Now,
so
what
it was
about
a
the late-
dick reflection?
This is the one with like he just took rib before
Yeah.
they finally called it. This is a
Yeah.
late stoppage, right?
Yeah.
This is the 12-6 elbows to the body, and no one ever said anything about
I'm
it.
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, I like that. Somebody put on Google Plus. They're like, apparently, if you go into turtle position, that is what do they call that? Educatedly defending yourself.
That's not even turtle position, dude. That guy was on his side.
It's the same thing that GSP did to Matt Serra in their second fight.
didn't.
He
He
started
was kneeing him.
in the sides, and they stopped it.
They stopped it after the 2 knees.
3.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but like Albert said, I think we got what 6, 7,
At least,
maybe
yeah.
12.
I think it was 9 actually. 7 or 9.
Well, Brunson also had a broken jaw in that fight, just to let you know. After
Yeah, I
getting
read
punched
about that.
multiple times. Derek Brunson was winning that fight up until that point.
Right.
He was winning that fight. And then by the third round, Yoel Romero was definitely like, I need to hit this guy harder.
Yeah.
Broke
Everybody-
his jaw, hit him in the dick, punched him elbowed him a bunch of times in the sides.
Yeah, everybody said that ref should pitch in on Brunson's medical.
Seriously.
Yeah.
All this like
Or
liver
at least a
failure
new
and
cup.
everything he's gonna have later on in life.
At least a new cup.
Yeah.
So, and then, of course, the big news that came out this week was GSP said that less strenuous drug testing was the influence of his break. He said it bothered him greatly.
God.
He vacated his title. He said, I tried to change things, and unfortunately, maybe for some money reasons, maybe for the image, they were not ready to do that. I tried to bring about change in a very diplomatic way, and it didn't work out, so it's unfortunate, but it will happen sooner or later. He is also saying that he believes the UFC has a monopoly on MMA. He said, I wanted to do something to help those who are honest in the sport, believe me or not. I never took drugs in my life. I take a lie detector test. I don't care. I am for anti-doping tests. I think it's a big problem in the sport. He basically says, let's see, where is it? Oh, yeah, he says, this is a relatively new sport. There's one organization that has a monopoly, so the fighters don't have much power. They can't really talk about it because if one says what he thinks, he will get punished. If we want the sport to be accepted worldwide like baseball, hockey, football, soccer, I believe drug testing is the thing to do. I think it's a matter of time before it happens. It's just that I tried to make it happen now. Maybe they didn't like the idea because if I did it now, it would lead to others doing it, and maybe that's not something they wanted to happen. It disappoints me. There are things that I can't say I was holding back. I am a public person.
All I hear is Hulk Hogan when he was saying that Vince McMahon was molesting them. That's all I hear. I mean, it kills me that nobody says shit until they're on the latter end of it. You know what I mean?
He actually should have said it while he was in
exactly.
power. And,
while he was a champion?
Yeah, like they're going to cut one of their biggest pay-per-view draws. But I think he,
Well, Dana White had something to say on Fox Sports 1 immediately after Ultimate Fight Night 35. We have that audio. Let's play that and you can hear what Dana White has to say.
You have to talk about former welterweight champion George St. Pierre, who publicly stated his frustration with the organization and the current state of drug testing in MMA. He even alluded to that being a factor in his decision to vacate the title and step away. So, Dana, I want to know, how do you respond to what GSP said?
Well, obviously shocked, when he came out and said this. First of all, if everybody remembers, when George St. Pierre said that he wanted to come out and do this extra drug testing, it was so he could prove that he wasn't on drugs. He didn't come out and say, hey, I want to do extra drug testing because I think Johnny Hendricks is on drugs. Everybody's been saying that they think that George St. Pierre is on it for years, so he wanted to prove that he wasn't. Now, our guys who deal with the regulatory issues sat in on this thing. It's just like in boxing. How many times have you seen in boxing where a guy comes out and says he wants extra testing because he doesn't know about this guy? Then they sit down and he says, I want to use this company, and the other guy's like, well, I don't want to use that company. I want to use this one. It's exactly what went down in the George St. Pierre case. And there's never going to be a situation where the Athletic Commission isn't involved. And the Athletic Commission was involved in this whole thing, tried to make it happen, and at the end of the day, George St. Pierre ended up not doing it. Nobody told George he couldn't do it or he wasn't supported. I said it was ridiculous. I came out and said the thing was ridiculous. You're never going to get two guys that are fighting each other to agree on what drug testing they're going to do. So the whole thing is really weird. And the thing that's even the most is I heard that George St. Pierre is upset that I thought that Johnny Hendricks won the fight and didn't like a lot of things that I said at the press conference. Well, be a man and pick up the phone. Or let's get together and let's talk face-to-face, because we talked face-to-face that night after the fight, and he didn't say a word about it. He didn't say anything about this, and obviously this came out of left field. First of all, just so people know, the UFC and boxing fall under the hardest regulation there is for drug testing out of any sport out there. Number two, when we self-regulate in these other countries, we test everybody on the card. When we go into these different states, they'll test maybe guys who've had problems before, or they'll test the co-main event, or just the main event. We test the whole card. And when we self-regulated ourselves, a fight that I called Fight of the Year, that I was crazy about, I had friggin' T-shirts made and was rocking around with T-shirts about it, he got caught, and we buried.
We're talking Mark Hunt and Bigfoot
Mark Hunt,
Silva.
Yeah, versus Bigfoot Silva. We buried Bigfoot Silva. For what happened with Bigfoot was he was on TRT. He was being tested like we do with him, Vitor, and all the other guys that are on TRT. Test them all the way up to the fight. He got tested and his levels were perfect. Then after we tested him, he took a shot. And we tested him again after, and his levels were over. And we literally buried the guy for it. So this whole George St. Pierre thing is I don't know. It's shocking, it's weird, and it's insane.
Well, one of the other things that George talked about in that interview is a topic that you've had to answer on so many times. Is he said the UFC has a monopoly and it takes away from the negotiating power. And this was something that I said immediately. How could we say there's a monopoly? Bellator's out there. World Series of Fighting is out there. ONE FC. Viacom is backing Bellator. Huge company. What are your thoughts on that, again, for the 20th time?
$40 billion market cap. $40 billion market cap Viacom has. That's our competitor. We're never going to see $40 billion ever. Okay, our partner has. Our competitor has a $40 billion market cap, and like you said, there's a lot of other organizations out there where guys can go. Are we the best? Yes, we're the best. You can be mad at us because we're the best, but it's far from a monopoly.
Well, here.
So what do you have to think about Dana White's comments and his whole spiel that he went on there?
I think about the monopoly thing, he's right.
Yep, there's plenty of other competition that's out there, especially now.
Yeah, no one's going to go out and pay you $5 million to fight for them.
Well, like we said, that is it CBS, right?
Yeah, CBS.
I was like Child Protective Services.
But think about it. If Viacom gets in with CBS first, they're nationally broadcast. These guys are fighting on Fox, channels people can't find. CBS will put them on the forefront.
CBS isn't going to show MMA ever again.
They already signed a contract.
They signed a contract.
Never mind.
They have.
Yeah.
What? Whatever. Okay. They haven't since that one time.
I don't know if it'll be on main stage CBS, but it'll be on CBS Sports.
But you know what I'm saying? It's an option for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as the monopoly goes, again, like I said, we've said there's plenty of other outlets out there for fighters to go to. Yeah, especially the World Series of Fighting coming, Bellator's out there. There's plenty of other places. As far as the testing goes,
that's up to the state, dude.
It really is up to the state. And for him to say, we self-regulate and that, we can never get two fighters to agree to testing, how about you make them agree?
Right.
That's my thing is you put it in their contract, these are the testings that we use. If you don't agree to the testing that we use, you don't get to fight.
Right.
They have to redo everyone's contracts.
Yeah. Still.
But it's only year to year.
Yeah.
So, we just turned the year, so...
this is the new agreement. Either look what they did with the video game when AKA dropped off the map. It was, you either agree to this because this is the new deal we have, or you go find somewhere else to fight. You don't like your current contract. They always have an exit clause in all their contracts. Right. Always. Right. You can have 5 fights on your contract. You lose your last fight, they can be like, you know what? We're done. We're just going to pay you off. You're done.
Well, I just think, that has to do with them personally, their business.
Right.
When the state runs it and they drug test who they feel like drug testing, like the people, every person that has failed the drug test gets drug tested every fight.
Yep.
Every championship fight, both fighters get tested.
Yep.
And then it's random after that.
Right.
So,
but what about...
That has nothing to do with their business.
What about the UFC, again? They're saying in these places that aren't regulated, stepping in and testing everybody on the card.
Yeah, those are the places that aren't...
Why don't they do that for every fight anyway?
That's a lot of money.
But if you're getting guys like George St. Pierre coming out and saying, there's a lot of people on drugs, there's a lot of people on TRT, there's a lot of people on these things...
Yeah, you motherfucker.
Yeah. He's never failed.
I don't give... That doesn't mean... Neither did Marion Jones.
No. but I'm just saying...
But he's also...
What better way to pass a test than to get in cahoots with the company who is anti-doping and figure out how to beat it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think he did anything wrong. I think he went to one of the best testing organizations. They were like, oh, sweet, an athlete with a name. Can we put you on our poster, please?
He could have said no.
Why would he? It's sponsorship.
Yeah. That's why no other fighter is going to go there that's going to fight him.
Right. It makes it suspect.
I agree. Right. But I don't think he ever did anything wrong.
No.
Personally.
No.
Yeah. Well, I do.
So moving on to the Ultimate Fight Night 35 that did happen.
It was the aliens
on Wednesday.
Yeah, they injected roids.
We have our results. We have Beneil Dariush defeated Charlie Brenneman, rear naked choke round 1. Vince Purcell defeated Garrett Whitley, unanimous decision. Louis Smolka defeated Alptin Oleg.
That was the first Hawaiian flyweight.
Louis Smolka?
Mm-hmm. He's the first Hawaiian flyweight in the UFC.
All right. Trevor Smith defeating Brian Houston. Elias Silvaro defeating Isaac Villaflag. Ramsey Nijan defeating Dustin Edwards. Cole Miller defeats Sam Cecilia. John Moraga over Dustin Ortiz.
I just want to say this real quick. I will never watch a Dustin Ortiz fight again.
Freaking busy night for the judges.
That guy was just...
They went through pencil after pencil after pencil.
Yoel Romero over Derek Brunson. TJ Dillashaw over Mike Easton. Brad Tavares over Lorenz Larkin. I wanted to know, I asked you this actually during the fight. What is the percentage? Somebody's going to find this. Somebody's going to find this stat for me. If I have to find it myself, that's fine. What is the percentage of guys who shave their sponsor into their head and losing?
Yeah.
Because the last guy I remember was Mark Munoz. He shaved his sponsor in his head. He got knocked out by Chris Weidman. Yeah. And I've seen it before. Other fighters have shaved things into the side of their head.
But did he at least fall to where you couldn't see the sponsor's
on his face?
Luke Rockhold
wasn't there.
Defeats Konstantinos Philippou with a liver kick. He nailed him there like 3 times with that liver kick.
I like the first one where he takes it and he's like, I'm okay. He puts his arm over it. I'm good.
I think people need to ask him if he shit his pants. those are nice liver kicks, and those hurt like a mother.
And of course, he immediately called out Vitor Belfort. He wanted an immediate rematch with Vitor Belfort. He then said he would even like to fight, obviously, Michael Bisping. There's a lot of people that don't like Michael Bisping that want fights with him. He then went on Twitter. Michael Bisping said, "Congrats on the win. You're still hurt over me telling the truth about how I handed you your ass that time. Join the queue, big fella." Basically, what they're talking about is an event that happened in training. Michael Bisping was bragging about how he defeated Luke Rockhold. He should be called the king of Strikeforce. He should be the Strikeforce middleweight champion because he defeated him somewhere in training. Luke Rockhold responded with, "The sad thing is I was able to compete hungover off a 5-week bender, switching my stance, and going 3 rounds straight in the best shape of your life."
That's drama, dude.
Then he says, "I will take your liver home and eat it with some fava beans."
Right?
I'm having a friend for dinner.
So then that immediately put us into the Ultimate Fighter nations. Canada versus Australia. Coaches Patrick O'Tay against Kyle Noak. Did you watch this season?
Yes.
Great. We can talk about how this entire episode seemed to be a bunch of slow-mo shots and training montages, and was probably the most boring opener for the Ultimate Fighter I've seen in a long time.
Fight-wise?
No.
Overall. Just the whole
overall
thing.
episode.
The whole thing.
Well, what'd you think of the fight?
It was okay.
It was terrible. The Australian guy is like, "We came here to fight. That's what we did." I'm like, "No, bro, you didn't. Like, you ran in there and got kneed in the face 9 times.
No, he just gave the typical football player response. We went out, execute, 100%, execute.
We played good.
Didn't quite make it, but I will next time.
Right, we'll give it the old try, maybe.
Shrimp on a Barbie.
Give it 100%. We did good. We played good. No,
Things were good.
that guy.
Long live Steve Irwin.
That's messed up, dude. Kyle Noak was like his BFF, dude.
Yeah, he's a bodyguard.
I know.
Yeah, check out our interview, by the way.
So, how do you think this season's going to go? Obviously, they've already talked about how, obviously, Team Canada seems to have a little bit more experience than Team Australia.
Yeah, considering that one person has a fight over 10 fights.
It seems like they have a different style of a fight.
Australians?
Yeah.
Well, I think they just kind of like get in the shit and just fucking throw
throw
down. Yeah.
They don't seem to have... the technique is definitely different.
Right.
Definitely different. Canada is very calculated, very technical.
Very GSP-ish.
Yes. A couple of those guys train at TriStar, so...
You know what? I think that's pretty much all Australian fighters, boxers and everything like that.
You think
they're brawlers. I think they're just brawlers. They hit really hard. I think if you get hit by one, it's probably going to hurt. Not feel good. But I don't think they're the most technical and whatnot.
All right, well...
So how do you think the season's going to pan out?
I have no idea. I don't know who any of these
You
fighters
you think it's going to pick up?
Hopefully. I really hope so. Because I was talking to Dodge about this earlier. I was saying that I think... Well, it was because they didn't have the 32 fighters, and each fighter
to get into the house.
Yeah,
right.
Each fighter gets to talk about themselves a little bit. This time, they just had to slow everything down, put everything in slow mo, so they could get everything out as much as they could, as fast as they could.
Do you think this turns into the Bellator thing, where they just slowly start losing watchers as it continues? I mean, Bellator, what was their thing?
Oh, it was horrible.
I mean, it got to the point where the commercials were getting more watches than the actual,
Yeah, no,
I think it will really pick up in the next season when it's the all women, it's the strawweight division, and it's for a title immediately. It's a tournament for the title. I think that's where it's going to pick up. We will get the viewers back. That's what I think is going to happen. This one I think they really just put on because they had it already in the can and they needed something to show.
Yeah, but I am looking forward. to be
honest,
to two coaches getting it on.
Yeah, I think Cote
and I mean fighting by that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
talking about Cote and Noak.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
I think Noak will take that fight.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
I think Noak will definitely take that fight.
Yep, they're both super slow, hit really hard.
Noak's got jiu-jitsu.
And Noak wrestles alligators.
Yeah, that's what'd be funny is if he wrestles him down and tries to stick a locator in him, or duct tapes his face.
I will say, right before our interview, Joey was like, "Obviously, he is not good enough a bodyguard because Steve Irwin's dead."
Oh, yeah.
I'll blame that on Joey.
Yeah.
That's what he said. I was like,
you can't.
I straight up said you cannot say that to him.
There is no Stingray defense. You know,
stick a hand out there.
Yeah.
If you Stingray, Noda can defend.
No, hey, anybody listening though, if you do get the bolt from a Stingray, leave it in there.
Don't pull it out.
Yeah, don't pull it out. Same thing you told your prom date.
No, you want to pull it out.
What? Oh, okay. All right, well, that wraps it up. Thanks for listening to Split Decision MMA. Once again, we'd like to thank Fight Fans Radio for carrying us. We're on Spreaker and iTunes, SoundCloud, and we ourselves are also on there as Split Decision. We're on Twitter at Split SD
underscore MMA.
Underscore MMA.
Oh, Twitter. I was like, why guys all looking at me?
Yeah,
You're
on
in charge of that, son.
Yeah, we're on Google Plus as Split Decision MMA. We're on Facebook as Split Decision MMA Podcast. And I guess that wraps it all up. Oh, yeah, and you can go to our splitdecisionmma.com. And I guess we'll see you at the fights.